This video covers 3 of the biggest money mistakes and 3 great habits that anyone can start today to improve their overall financial health. Hi, welcome. My name's Michelle, and this is the first of many videos that will cover day-to-day helpful information to help us all BEHaB, meaning be educated, healthy, and beautiful for life. So today's video will be covering 3 financial mistakes we should stop and 3 financial habits we should start in order to improve our overall financial health. And trust me, the way some of our savings and bank accounts set up is sick. And not in a good way sick, it's sick. So let's cover number 1 mistake. Income goes up, expenses goes up. Incorrect order. Income go up, expenses should remain the same, at least for a reasonable amount of time. What most sources tell us to do is to have at least 20% of our income set aside in our budget for savings. And using this 20%, you can also go by what you may have heard of or may not, is the 50-30-20, where 50% is for our essential expenses, which include rent, food, those items or those bills that we just can't get around. And then that 30% can be discretionary spending, but that 20% should go to savings monthly. And as you increase your income, you want to be able to keep your expenses the same in order to have that gap, where that gap will accumulate over time. That gap between what you make and what you actually spend will increase over time. And once you get that accumulation together, you'll be able to take that money and invest it into something else or make that money make money. But as long as you're a person that makes $2,000 and spend $3,000, and we know where eventually that will end. And sometimes today in today's society, we have so many avenues to use money that we don't have. Most common, credit cards. We can use $20,000 today. Do we have $20,000, and how long will it take us to pay that $20,000 back? And most of us don't even realize you're not just paying that $20,000 back. You might be paying $40,000 back. About time the interest build up on you and the late payment. Do not increase your expenses just because your income increases. You sometimes have to put off that instant gratification for that real reward at the end of the road. And it's about changing the way we think about our finances, and changing our habits and changing our mindset about finance. So moving on to mistake number 2. Most of us, we are not Suntrust. We are not Bank of America. We are not set up to do what they do. That's what they do. They are a financial institution. They have lawyers. They have documents. They have, the whole setup where they know that if they lend money, most likely they have the insurance to cover it if they don't get it back. And if they do get it back, they're tripling, doubling, quadrupling. But they're set up to do that. We are not. Individuals, usually we are not, unless we're some billionaire and we have those $10,000 to give. And even if you're a billionaire, that's why I said that mindset. Most billionaires still don't do that. So with that being said, you're gonna have to learn the language of finance, which that doesn't mean you need to know dividends, stocks, and all that good stuff. No, that means the language of finance is, unfortunately, at this time, dear friend, I have financial goals that will not allow me to lend you that amount of money at this time. Because guess what? You're not lending. Most of the time you're giving it to them. And sometimes you can help people by not being an enabler. A lot of those people that borrow are habitual borrowers. They won't come back tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And if you don't stop those habits and that cycle, and you don't allow yourself to become more, in the end, you won't be able to help. Both of you guys are going to be in the same situation, honestly. You won't be able to help them at all when they really need help. I'm sorry, my financial setup right now, I'm trying to do something and I'm not able to give this. This is what I can do. And this does not help at all. Know your budget. Be aware of your budget. Be aware of what you can give. Not lend, not borrow, but give. So the third mistake a lot of us make is comparing ourselves to the neighbors, comparing ourselves to our friends, comparing ourselves to our parents. We've all had a different financial journey. Some of us trust fund babies, some of us not trust fund babies. So that makes a big difference. So it's not fair to compare yourself to the next individual. You see those people flashing those items that may be borrowed, stolen, not theirs, returned after the photo shoot. You know, they may have sponsors, hey? But still, it's not important. Look at yourself. Look at your own goals. Look at where you're going and where you're come from, and make decisions based off what's best for you. What makes you happy. Don't get caught up in the hype of Instagram, please, because like I said, if you ask many of those, hey, so you got a $10,000 bag there, how much you have in your savings? And you will be shocked. To do mature and realize that you done wasted time trying to impress others. And that's a big mistake. Big mistake. And the sooner you learn it, the better off you are. Just like they said with investment, the sooner you start investing, the better it is. You know, if you start investing at 20, by the time you 60, you're going to be in a much better situation if you started investing in your 40s. That covers 3 of the biggest mistakes. Now I want to enter into 3 habits that all of us can start, or many of us. I'm not saying some of you guys are smart and doing well, but many of us can start today that is very healthy for our financial overall health. So habit number 1, it kind of relates to the first biggest mistakes, which, the more you make, the more your expenses increase. No, don't do that. But habit number 1, pay yourself first. That means that 20%, put that aside in a way first. That's your payment. But I have paid myself first. I've done pretty well at paying myself first. I could have done better. We said life in finance, everything is a balance. You play hard, yes. You work hard, yes. But it has to be a smart, educated balance in there. You don't overplay or you don't overwork, because those two, once it gets off balance, the results will not be. It's not going to be great. Number 2, let's move on to the second habit that we can start today that would make our overall financial health much better. And this is where I fail the most, is being organized. Jesus, organization. I have realized is important in every aspect of your life. Where is it your social, financial, health, home, raising your kids, being organized. But trust me, I will improve. And if you have any tips or any ideas or anything that can help me improve, please feel free. Drop it in a comment, because I do need to work on this. I don't even know how I have survived this far with being disorganized as I am. But I know it's important, and that's the first step of improving anything. Realizing your weaknesses and building on that and capitalizing on that and making that your strength. And that's what I plan to do. So, with that being said, get organized with your finance. That is a great habit. And without that organization, you can't see that vision. Without that organization, sometimes you don't even realize what you could change that could make your life so much better. Without being organized, we end up spending a lot of money saying late fees. Not being organized, it takes away from the vision. You can't see, even if you're doing great, you can't see it. And sometimes you need to see it. You have to have that dream. You have to have that vision to know where you're going, to be able to stay on the road. You get in your car and you drive to work every day, but that vision gets you there. And number 3, I think I covered it earlier. And when I covered mistakes of not being that bank, not being that lender, not being that borrower, because we're not set up like that, the way my savings and checking account set up. You have companies for that. When I stated that, I mentioned also knowing the language. There's many ways you can say things. The overall language when it comes to that is no. Now, you may want to come or practice coming off a little less blunt. So you have to sometimes honestly train your unfortunately, sometimes it's parents. Sometimes you have to train your children. You have to train your spouse, your friends and you're trying to better yourself and you're doing this for yourself. They'll back up. You have some that will be resistant to change. If you truly have a friend and you tell a true friend, hey friend, I'm really trying to make some changes. This is what I really want. I have helped you in the past, but right now I'm trying to make sure I'm making decisions to better my financial health and overall future. And I can't afford to do these things that maybe I've done. A true friend will understand, a true friend will listen. But also remember, when you open your eyes, and that's what it's all about, whether it's about relationship or whether it's about your own health of your body or what's going on in your environment, when you open your eyes, you will see so much more, period. That's all it is. Okay? So I end this note on saying, choose whether you want to look rich or be rich. I even want to say, rich is not always being a millionaire. Rich could be filled with knowledge and understanding and control of your environment. You can be rich and only make $30,000 a year because you are in control of your environment, your happiness, and your finance. That's, to me, the ultimate rich. Full of knowledge, full of wisdom, full of just overall health and ease of knowing that you are more in control and knowing that you have more control over the future. With that being said, you guys have a blessed day. Enjoy. Bye-bye.